Hey guys, if you're looking for a very strong build with a million DPS and just a few hundred chaos, I'll give you my full setup of my Lacerate Gladiator. You can do everything that you want in T16, and if it's done, don't forget to subscribe, and big thanks for that. I'll start with the gear, and for the weapon you want to have the best physical DPS possible and also try to include some damage with bleeding. You also want of course physical damage, added physical damage and increase attack speed. For the armor you want a 6-link socket 1 and you want on it some life, resistances, additional physical damage reduction and increased percentage in life. For the shield you can keep the unique one and you want on your armor parts. For the helm, increase life and some resistances. For the boots, increase movement speed, life and also resistances. And for the gloves, physical damage, increase attack speed and maximum life and also if possible resistances. For the belt you want global physical damage, resistances, increased damage and some life. You'll want 2 steel rings in order to have also resistances, life and physical damage to attack. You can get these two and you can also put on it non-challenging skills, reduce mana cost, meaning that your Lip Slam will no longer cost any mana, so when you use this spell you won't have to use your mana. For the amulet you want to have a mana leash and some resistances, life, stats and physical damage. It's very important to have this mana leash because you won't use any source of mana potion and we want to get some curse removal, instant recovery. Here we have immune to chill on a chaos flask, remove burning and remove corrupted blood. You can also get this one if you prefer in order to get some armor and DPS. Just make sure if you have 2 granite flasks to not use them at the same time. We'll be using a tincture with Cutting Strike, which is quite good with this build, and if possible try to get a better one. We also want for the amulet, I forget to mention it, that we want to have Toxic Strike. I'll give you more details on this on the passive tree. Linked with the tincture, you have to play this in order to apply tincture to your weapon. We want to increase the effect of the tincture and this one to boost the flask near the tincture, meaning this one and this one. For the jewels, you want to have this one which will increase your physical damage, life and damage with bleeding. For the skill setup, you want Lacerate with Brutality, melee physical damage, multi-strike and cruelty, and lastly, Fortify on it. You also want Ancestral Warchief with the Bloodlust support and multiple totem support, and this one, Pride, Flesh and Stone and Herald of Purity. The last one you'll want an Unlighted when you have enough to get this gem. You'll want Molten Shield, Blood Rage and Cast when damage taken support for the defensive setup, and for the curse you want to have Lip Slam, X-Touch support, Vulnerability, just this one, and Vengeance in order to proc vulnerability to enemies nearby. It's very efficient with this combo. Lastly, we have Enduring Cry, Summon Flame Golem with the minion life support, and Warbanner. For now I'm not using it, but you can consider it for later. Now for the skill tree you want to get here, get this nut, and then you'll get the shield mastery with intimidate enemies. You have this nut to avoid being stunned, the jewel, and you'll get the crimson dance just here with the bleeding and the bleeding mastery. You have then our jewel, another endurance charge, and this one to increase your life. A bit below you go here, you take increased damage per endurance and frenzy charge, and this one, faster damage with ailments. You also want this one to increase effects of cruelty. You have our Axe Mastery with increased effect on Onslaught, increased damage just here, and we'll get here in order to have Warcry instant. Then you get the life just here. We go here, get the Shield Mastery, increased damage per armor on our shield, and the Axe Mastery in order to grant you some rage on hit. You have the jewel here and the endurance charge, and the bleeding just here, increased damage on poison enemies. That's why it's important to have the Anointment just here in order to increase your damage on poison enemies, and it will be applied by your totems and not with Lacerate, so make sure to use your totem especially on bosses. After that we go back here, we get this nut, the Axe Mastery in order to increase your damage or area of effect, and you want also to get this one. You won't make any critical strike but you cannot miss your attack. Then for the ascendancy, you want to get this one in order to increase your attack speed, the bleeding passives, and the last one granting you more physical damage and damage reduce when your charges are at their maximum. So once everything is done, you should finish your Pantheon in order to get the remaining gods, and you should also try to get a better weapon and a better tincture. You'll need to use your Eldritch Orb in order to boost your gear with it. You also want the Enlightened Gem when you can afford it, and a bit later the Watcher's Eye in order to work with Pride. Let's talk a bit about the gameplay, and this is a rare T16 map. The idea is that you just need to spam Lacerate and your dash in order to quickly do the map. If you see a boss or a strong elite, you can use your totems and your golems, and otherwise, if you are in trouble, make sure to use your Warcry. During maps, you'll generate endurance charge by killing enemies, but on bosses, make sure to hit with the Warcry in order to have your full charges. Otherwise, gameplay is quite simple and you'll be also very tanky. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget that as usual you have the POB in the article in the link below the video, and if you have any question feel free to post in the comments, I'll be happy to answer you.